Guess what? It's not a perfect world, and neither are we. So on occasion, we're going to need to adjust things on a computer. Now that's okay, because that's just the way life is. While specific applications will have certain tools that you may be able to use, I guarantee you that throughout your computing career, you will need to do certain things on at least a daily basis. These include rearranging content, moving things around, making copies of things, and sometimes even just being able to select the things that you want. I like to call these universal techniques. So while some software will have specific tools and techniques you can use, the ones that I'm about to show you will work in virtually any application and even on any operating system. Let's start off though by doing a party poster. Are you in the mood for a party? Well, let's say that you're going to have a party and you need to put up a flyer or a poster regarding that party. You kind of have it started, you have the date and the time and the location, but you've been looking for the perfect picture. You happen to pick up the Sunday paper, and in the Sunday paper you see the perfect picture for your party poster. So what do? Well, you probably pull out some scissors and you cut out the picture. Now maybe you're not ready to work on your poster just yet, because after all it is Sunday morning, you're having your coffee, getting ready to start your Sunday activities, but you might place that cut out picture on the coffee table. And it may sit on the coffee table for a couple of hours, a couple of days, hopefully not a couple weeks or months. Eventually, when you're ready to finish your party poster, you're going to pull out some glue or some glue stick, and you're going to paste that picture onto your poster. So far, so good? Sound like reality? All right, then we're good so far. But let me ask you this question. What if the perfect picture you found is not from the Sunday paper, but it's from your grandma's heirloom fairy tale book that she brought over on the boat from the old country? Are you still going to take a pair of scissors to that book to get the picture that you want? I don't think so, because when I do, the words like disinheritance come to mind. Now, we don't want you to lose your inheritance, so what is our option? Well, instead of getting out scissors, we could use a scanner attached to a computer or even a copier to make a copy of the picture. This would then give us a version that we could use on our poster without getting grandma in a little tither that's going to end up in our disinheritance. So what are these things doing that are similar yet also different? Well, both methods, using the scissors and a copier, provide the picture that we want to use. But the scissors actually removes the item from the original location. In the case of the newspaper, that was fine. The copier, on the other hand, left the original intact, which in the case of Grandma's book was a better choice. After either one of these, though, the picture can be placed on the coffee table until we're ready to use it. The coffee table, though, isn't the safest place to keep it very long, because it'll get dusty, or it'll get thrown away, or it'll get coffee spilled on it, any one of those things. Regardless, though, of how we actually got it, when we're ready, we can use the glue stick to paste the picture onto our poster. So the end result is exactly the same. The difference is that the scissors removed the item from the original location and the copier left the original intact. So why am I talking about party posters and cleaning up my coffee table? Well, because this directly relates to probably one of the most common universal skills you can use on a computer. And that is the concept of cut, copy, and paste on the PC. Let's use a little bit of a different analogy here. Now we're actually going to go onto the computer. Now this happens to be some Excel data. Excel is a spreadsheet. That really doesn't matter. It could be anything that you have on your computer. Not only could it be text or information within a file, but it actually could be a file or folder itself from the operating system. So for my analogy here, I'm saying that I have some information about cookie sales, and I want to copy that information. Ultimately, I'm going to take it from a spreadsheet, maybe where I'm keeping my accounting records, and I want to use it in a PowerPoint presentation. So in Excel, I open up the application and I select the information I want. I then use a copy technique. Now, I could have used cut, but just like using the scissors, the cut command on a computer physically removes the data from the original location. Since I want to keep my cookie information so I can use it in Excel, then I'm going to simply make a copy of it, like putting Grandma's book onto the copier. So I always select the data first, because on a computer, in order to be affected, it must be selected. So I highlight or select the information I want, and then I click the copy button. And I've kind of highlighted the copy button, put a little angle at the top so you can see where that copy button is. In doing so, that places the data onto the computer clipboard. The clipboard is the equivalent of the coffee table. Just like the coffee table, though, a computer clipboard is not a safe place to keep stuff because the clipboard is a virtual space. It doesn't really exist anywhere, but it is held in RAM memory. If you recall, RAM memory is volatile or temporary. So if I remove information and I put it on the clipboard, and then I turn the computer off, that information on the clipboard will be lost. Now, if I copied it, I could always go back to the original location and make another copy. But if I cut it, I physically removed it from the file and left it on the clipboard and then turned off the computer, I could technically lose information. That's very dangerous. So even though it's okay to leave information on the clipboard for a little bit of time, you shouldn't store it there permanently or for a long period of time. Pretty much, if you can, cut it or copy it and then be ready to paste it into the location as soon as you can. So we have this virtual clipboard, which is the equivalent of the coffee table, and my data has been copied to it. The last step then, of course, is to open my destination. In this case, that's going to be PowerPoint, and it's going to be a slide. I simply paste it in using the paste button, which again I've highlighted on the upper left and put some red around it, made it a little bit larger. And now I have an exact copy of the original information that was in an Excel spreadsheet, now located in my PowerPoint presentation. I didn't have to retype. I didn't have to spend any time recreating the content. It was simply a matter of copying and pasting. On a computer, you can copy or cut data from within a file, actual files themselves, or entire folders. Once that information is cut or copied, it's stored on the clipboard, and then it can be pasted. When you paste information, it can be pasted into the same file, into a different file, but from the same application. So in other words, I could have pasted this into a different Excel spreadsheet. Or it can often be pasted into something completely different, like I did in this example. I took it from Excel and I pasted it into PowerPoint. This is some of the magic that kind of happens behind the scenes, and it seems kind of odd that you can take something from one application and actually paste it into another. But very often this will be the ability that you have. All using the technology concept of cut, copy, and paste, very similar to what you would do to make a poster in the real world.